Alright, fellas. So, the thing I want to talk about actually is everyone's favorite new mechanic in this game, which is the wall. So, actually in the first open beta, I talked about the wall and my feelings about it, and I just want to like kind of share how I'm feeling about it right now. So, the first thing, and this is especially for Dragon Ball players, this is for Dragon Ball players and also especially for Dragon Ball players, and actually anyone who plays fighting games. One of the most important things I learned about Dragon Ball, and one of the reasons why I struggled with the game for so long, is because I tried to fight the game too hard while I was playing it. And what I mean is, like, a lot of the mechanics that are really strong and unique to Dragon Ball, like Super Dash, like Tag, like Reflect, I really hyper-focused on them, how much I disliked them, and how much, like trying to do things to kind of not totally avoid it, but just like I thought of it as like such a bad and scrubby thing that I didn't want to like use it, and it hurt me for a while, and I wasn't really open to strategies that were unique to the game to help me fight these mechanics, because there are things in the game that will help you fight them. I just resisted them because I didn't like the mechanics. So that is actually the first and most important thing about the wall, is that this is actually a really important part of the game, and you don't want to fight this thing. Like, a lot of Millia players have been coming into the stream and have been telling me, I'm very aware of this, thank you for telling me over and over, but I'm very aware of this, that you have a thing that Millia can do. I'm just going to do a lazy combo just to show it off. That Millia could use the RC and get a hard knockdown, you could avoid the wall break, blah, blah, blah. Not only is this a lot of meter that Millia doesn't have access to a lot, but like, yeah, I get it, but breaking the wall has some really nice benefits. So, what are the benefits? So, one, I'm using the super just to break the wall quickly, but your character gets a positive meter gain, which basically has never been in GG. Someone might correct me saying Isuka has it or something, but you get passive meter gain for quite a long time. If you break the wall with a super, you get a knockdown, so you can get a setup anyway and continue your offense. These 2 points are pretty important. Also, another thing about it is, let's get a combo. So the wall splat and the wall hit are both burst safe also. So if somebody is about to die and you get to the point you're going to break the wall, they can't burst. So that's actually another benefit of it. Okay. So we have here the wall break. And of course the wall break does mad damage and the wall break kills. Now, it might have done it in OB2, I forget. It definitely did not do that in OB1. Okay. So with this in mind, what does this mean for the game and for you? So it really depends on what type of character you play actually. So what do I mean? So we're going to look at the character select. So there are some characters here that, let's take a character like Lord Axel, right? Axel likes playing neutral. He's a long range specialist. The game literally tells you that. So honestly, and I mean maybe over time Axel players will refine their strategy, blah, blah, blah. But Axel does a good amount of damage, and him breaking the wall is good for him. He's playing lane anyway, so he's getting passive meter. He's going to have access to a lot of meter options. He's strong in neutral, and some of these matchups, going back to neutral is like pretty good. Like against Zato, for example, who struggles against Axel, going back to neutral sucks for him. So we go to the reverse. Zato might not necessarily want to go back to neutral in some matchups. In some matchups, he might want to. So let's say, for example, we have Lord Zato versus Ino, right? Ino, generally, in my general knowledge of the game, has problems approaching Zato. So Zato doesn't care if he goes back to neutral after he breaks the wall against her, right? Now you have a super powerful version of the character. You can get in on your own terms, and you can rush her down again. And when you have 100 meter, you do more damage, more mix, all sorts of nonsense. You might be like, well, cool, that's nice for Zato and Axel, or like maybe Faust or something. But what about my set play characters? What about my, let's for example say, Millia? Or Chip, the characters that win with knockdown. Ino would be another one, right? So my personal theory right now is that you will have to build your combo riding so that you break the wall generally when you want to. Me personally, for Millia, there's some matchups where I think this is like how deep I'm going with it. There's some matchups like against Soul. Soul does so much damage that I've been thinking, oh, I should always cash out and break the wall. Because again, remember, you get the meter bonus, you get the unburstable wall break, and a damage boost for breaking the wall. Like, I'm sorry, the breaking the wall does extra damage, right? And then I get the passive meet again as well. And Milia versus Soul Neutral is pretty good, as opposed to like versus Axel, where like I might not want to go back to the neutral right away. I might try to aim for breaking the wall. So I'm thinking about building my combos so that if I'm playing a character as good neutral, I try to stay mid-screen because I can pick which way to go. If I'm playing against a character that I generally beat them in neutral, like Soul is one, Mei is like another one traditionally, right? Then I don't mind going back to neutral. I'll definitely win neutral again, and then once I touch them, game over for sure. There is another aspect actually too about wall breaking. Again, something that's not distributed evenly. Some characters or have better post-neutral situations than others. So not just that the character is good in neutral, like Axel, but here's an example. Let's pick Lord Soul. And who's another character that has a pretty decent... here you go. So just like Exert has Fuck It YRC, as I lovingly like to call it, these characters have Fuck It RC, basically. Like, they have moves that travel so far and fast that when you break the wall, whether or not you break the wall for super or not, you're in a pretty good situation anyway. You can get back in. You have the meter bonus. So you have Giovanna. It's the Spiral Arrow. It's time for the pro gamer to guess what the input is. Let's fucking go. So, right. In immediately plus immediately. Soul. Let's see if I can guess this on my first try. I'm not good. Get on in there. Right in there, right? So some characters have things like that, some characters do not. So if you have a character that has that, that's a very, very applicable tool you can use to get back in if you don't break the wall when you want to. But the main thing I want to say is, like, if you're going to play this game for real, you don't have to like it. Like, I don't necessarily like the wall break, personally. It's something I don't... It's probably, like, on my top 3 things that I think is weird, and I don't know how to feel about it yet. But you can at least think, if you're going to play the game, what is your strategy going to be about the wall? Any questions?